He left me on forum.
Well, that's what I was doing. I washed my truck last time. But
Generally had
every
to
time I
say
wash
that,
my truck,
looking
they
at
call me
the flag.
or on the road. So that happened. Natural cover fires the last few days. Where's the Memorex?
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. It's the City of Hannibal official council agenda. It's Tuesday, February the 7th. We're in council chambers. It's 7 p.m. And would the clerk call the roll, please?
Councilmember Welch.
Here.
Councilmember Beach.
Here.
Councilmember McCoy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Here.
Councilmember Franke.
Present.
Mayor Hark. Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
If everybody would stand, I'll do the invocation. Heavenly Father, in our hearts we plan our course, but we pray that you establish our steps. I pray that we seek you for advice. Let us not make decisions based upon what we know, but let us act based upon your wisdom. Please guide us, Lord. We place this meeting in your hands. We place our hearts and our minds in your hands so that you may direct us. Amen. Darren Gordon, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I need approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting, please.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
I get a motion to excuse the mayor.
Thank you. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Mayor's excused. Next is approval of minutes. First to the regularly scheduled council meeting of December 20th, 2022. The regularly scheduled council meeting for January 3rd, 2023. And then also the regularly scheduled council meeting for January 17th, 2023. Need a motion to approve?
I'll move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Next is the approval of payroll and claims for the second half of January 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Jonathan Robinson, White Men's Club of Hannibal, request for street closures for mud volleyball. What you got for us, sir?
I'm just requesting for the submitted dates and the submitted street closures. It's same
Okay.
stuff we ask for every year.
Okay.
Same
And
streets.
it's a little early for the insurance certificate. That's the only thing.
Yeah. We'll have it before the first event, for
Okay.
sure. So
Very good. Does
Motion.
anybody have questions of Mr. Robinson?
Motion to approve pending insurance.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thanks for coming up.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Request for street closures, White Men's Pavilion down by the river, Friday, May the 18th, 5 till 11 p.m. Friday, June the 16th, 5 to 11. And then the mud volleyball, so I assume that was,
Yeah, all together.
it was all together, so I missed that. Is there any questions? Look for a motion to approve, pending insurance.
Yeah, we did.
You did?
Jeff
Okay.
motion.
Okay.
I seconded, and we already voted, I thought.
Okay, we did, but I didn't catch the down by the rivers. So we just had talked about mud volleyball. So,
Second one.
okay,
Okay, motion to approve.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? I apologize for that.
Mayor's not allowed to take off anymore.
Okay, yeah. Alan Bones next on the agenda. I've been told that he had an emergency tonight, so I'd look for a table to, or a motion to table.
I'll make that motion to table Alan Bowen.
Here, second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That's passed. April Azate, chain of command, duties and responsibilities. And we checked out our timer. Our timer is 5 minutes. That way you can keep an eye on.
No. And in case I go over, could I just go ahead and ask the council for an additional 5 minutes?
Yeah, since Alan isn't here, I'll make that motion. Per the rules, April, somebody has to second and we have to vote as a majority to accept. So I've made the motion, but nobody's under any
Second.
obligation.
Okay, all those in favor of giving April 10 minutes?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? Go.
Okay. This does not. Okay.
Oh, mine's working.
Am I good?
No, we're.
Okay. Oh, well, they were talking, so I just didn't know if you were like ready for me or not. Okay. I can't imagine what it's like to be on city council. So all of these questions started going through my head. Like, why would someone want to be on city council, and wondered why each of you individually wanted to? It's not a question that I am going to waste my time asking of you individually, but definitely think it's something each of you should take the time to think about at your convenience. Council work, I would imagine, is or can be very difficult, constantly having to listen, study, and willing to have preconceived ideas challenged and or called out publicly. Each of you took an oath to put the law, code, and citizens first and to be a public servant. Someone in such position, having so much power to make positive changes and dedication to the community, is a person I would typically look up to, admire, and respect. Unfortunately, I don't see all of you in that light, nor do several others. How can we respect someone who withholds information and hasn't upheld their oath? Obviously, this isn't everyone up there, but I personally have lost so much trust in several of you that I have spoke to outside of council meetings and say one thing to my face and another in the meetings, and treat me differently outside of council meetings when we've spoke versus in council meetings. Furthermore, how do you expect us to respect you when you have no respect for each other and have blatantly been disrespectful to certain members up there in public meetings? It's a shame, honestly. The last meeting I spoke at, I brought up duties and responsibilities of each department and or position. At the time, I thought nothing was in any of the ordinances or charter, but after going back and reading even more, there are in fact duties and responsibilities in charter for certain positions, not others. Additionally, several things need added and or made clear, such as administrative leave. It briefly talks about it, but doesn't say how long one is allowed to be on it. It talks about how certain departments might be asked to take on additional workload while someone is on administrative leave, which brings me to the fact that the city clerk has been gone since November 17th. That's almost 13 weeks. And in my mind, you take her salary divided by 52 weeks based on X amount of hours, which typically is 40 hours a week, and break that down. One of my questions is, there are several ladies that have taken on an ungodly amount of additional work with the city clerk being gone. So is the city clerk's salary divided up and then divided up to give to them for taking on that additional workload?
No, I mean, I'll answer that. No, the clerk is on paid leave. She retains her full salary as she's still an employee of the city. In the interim, the deputy clerk and her office manager have been given an 8% raise incumbent upon doing the additional workload until such a time when they no longer do. Is that accurate, Mr. City Attorney?
I mean, are you asking from a legal standpoint or a factual standpoint?
Well, both.
From a legal standpoint, thank you.
So for the last 12, 13 weeks that she has been put on administrative leave, when you break that down by her salary, which is almost $74,000, breaks down to almost $1,500 a week, times the weeks that she's been gone, you mean to tell me she's getting paid $18,500 to sit and do nothing? Is that right?
If your math checks out, it is.
I'm sure somebody else up there has a calculator if you have to double check. I have also said this at a couple meetings where every time I have gone to the city clerk's office, things have been made difficult for me, and it is literally like walking on eggshells every time I go in there. In the last 12, 13 weeks since I have gone in there, I cannot stress enough how refreshing, how positive, and how helpful Melissa and all the girls in the city clerk's office have been. Like, I've seen the look on, sorry, Melissa, I don't mean to call you out, but I've seen the look on her face, stressed to the max, working late at night, working on the weekends, whatever. And again, sorry to call you out, Melissa, but she has literally gone above and beyond to help me in any way possible, been very polite, been respectful. Exactly everything that hasn't been shown to me the last 7 years. It just goes to show you how, in my mind, a community is supposed to be like a family. You know, we're all supposed to be working together. You guys are all supposed to be working together. And her and several other workers have stepped up to take on the extra workload of somebody that isn't here. And to my knowledge, they've been doing a great job. Whether or not they want to take on that additional workload, I can't speak for them, but they've been doing a wonderful job. And I know the morale has been completely different at City Hall since. I also know that the city clerk's term was up December 31st, and that she has already moved forward in suing the city. So my question is, why does she still have employment with this? Why is she still getting paid when her term was up December 31st? I mean, if my tax dollars are going to anything, I would like it to go towards the people that are doing her job, or to be giving the police officers X amount additional money to help with all the violence that has been happening in town lately. Would I be wrong in saying that a good $74,000 for one position that is being fulfilled by many others, I can't say easily, but I would rather use that money to go towards the workers that are busting their butt to get the job done, as well as people, firefighters, police officers that are risking their life every single day. Do any of you think that it is okay for her to be getting paid to sit at home and not do her job while others are doing it for her?
I'll say I think $74,000 goes a long way.
Colin, are you okay with tax dollars going to pay to somebody to sit at home? Sorry, I don't mean to call you out. I could have said it to any of you.
But it's part of the litigation process, and there's a lot of things that we can't say, and that being, one part of it, we can't comment. So, I mean, appreciate that you're here, that you're concerned, but if you called me, I could have answered those questions. But there's things we can't say until after the litigation process is done.
Okay, can you anybody answer, James, I don't care who, can anybody answer why she's still employed by the city when her term was up December 31st anyway?
Absolutely. It's the United States of America. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. There has not been a full investigation of the allegations that have been made against her. That investigation process is ongoing. She is on paid leave because that investigation process is still ongoing. She's entitled to have her due process and have things said, just as everyone else in the United States would want their full due process. And the city is not going to discharge someone just because allegations are made against them. There's going to be a full investigation and allow both sides of the story to come out. And then at some point, a final decision will be made after the full investigation's been done.
Okay. Could you?
We're down to a minute.
Okay. Could you or anybody else answer what amount dollar-wise we are at in fees for the investigation that has been ongoing?
I have no idea.
I mean, if I had to take a wild guess, a significant amount of dollars.
At this point, I don't know that we've received a bill on it, but the amount that will be paid on the investigation will be public record. I mean, it's something that you'll have the right to know what was spent, but I just don't know that we've gotten a bill at this point. I'm not trying to play hide the ball. You've got the right to know what the amount is.
It's okay.
I just don't know what it
So
is.
one thing, since I'm down to a minute or whatever, I think something that is imperative that needs to be discussed and or put in charter immediately is the length of time somebody can be put on paid administrative leave. Because at the end of the day, it's our tax dollars paying for
Totally
all of
agree.
this.
And a contract has been offered to a person to investigate. It just hasn't happened yet. So, we
the
can only
longer
move so
this goes
fast.
on, the longer, I'm sure it's
Totally-
frustrating
totally
for all of
agree.
you as well.
Totally agree.
I would rather have my tax dollars going to people that are
Totally agree.
doing their job. So could that be something that is like discussed collectively between all of you, either privately
We're
or?
waiting for an investigation to take place.
I meant in regards to administrative leave, like having a X amount of time being
James
put
explained
on.
that.
He didn't
Okay,
explain.
we're out of time, so I need to move on. Thank you.
Thank you, April.
Next is under Mayor Hart's recommendation of appointments. It's for a second reading. The Hannibal Housing Authority, Patty Talbert, reappointment for a term to expire April of 26th, and Jay Ganny for reappointment for a term to expire April 2026 as well. Need a motion to approve?
Is it April 26th? Mine says January 27th.
It's April.
It's April. It was corrected on mine.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. My note says the clerk does rule. My note says the clerk does a roll. Think so? Okay. Okay, Lisa Peck, city manager on unbudgeted needs.
Yes, I wanted to bring to your attention some unbudgeted needs that have come up since the last budget. So I've made a list. This is not things that we were necessarily contemplating, and I'm not sure some of them can wait until the next budget cycle. So you have the list before you, and it was sent out as part of the packet. But we have things on here such as the boiler system, which multiple times a day, Mike and I are running down there and flipping the reset switch. Otherwise, it doesn't function. A week or 2 weeks ago, the carpet split in the building inspector's office. So now we have, I'd say, 12-foot long strip of duct tape to avoid the trip hazard. The PD needs updated security cameras. I know it's a huge priority of the chief to have security cameras in the downtown area. They're obtaining quotes on a fire alarm system, and then the minimum $7,500 expenditure for security cameras. So, and this does not include items that we're going to be looking at for the next budget, such as first responder vehicles, roof replacement for the police department, city hall building envelope, and HVAC needs, and additional building repairs at fire stations, police department, city hall. So I just wanted you to be aware.
Questions, comments? Melissa Cogdill.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at the updated security system at the police department, and the range is 30,000 to $86,000. Is that,
The
is
chief's
that just
here,
two?
so
Is
I
that
will,
just two
I will
estimates, or-
let him speak to it, but yes, that's two, and it has to do with the difference between hosting on-site and hosting in the cloud alternative.
Hey, Chief.
Could you come up to the microphone?
Thank you.
They can't hear you at home.
So what happened is our in-house system, which we have cameras all over the police department, it's a valuable asset for our liability aspect, which is why Irma encourages it. Actually, they have a $7,500 grant towards that. However, you can't buy a system that size for our building for $7,500. So the difference in the price is the cheaper price range would be like what we have now. It's like systems with integrated hard drives that are on site, and the more expensive price is for off-site cloud hosting. So you wouldn't have anything really on site except for the cameras and a transmission source, like a transmits it to the cloud. Would be nice, but I don't see justifying it. I like the cheaper one.
Yeah,
Doesn't
we-
matter of opinion.
How long does your video last until it's overwritten?
I'd have to double check on it. It's a decent amount of time. I don't think it goes beyond 6 months or so. Depends on the settings, the system, how much that would cover, and had some cameras go out and they keep blowing fuses. We try to replace them. We're moving things around and making it work for now. It's just something that's a priority. And
we currently using the cloud-based or the in-house?
we have an in-house system. It was purchased in maybe 2000. I'd have to check to be sure. It runs over, like, there's a power connection and a coaxial connection. Newer ones are off of power to network connection, so there'd be a lot greater ease in installation. We'll just
Well, I just see those two numbers, 30,000 and 86,000, and you explain that, I get it. Are you doing multiple estimates, or is this a single vendor that we currently use?
That's a single vendor. We've had actually a lot of trouble getting people to come in to look at our system to give us quotes. I can't explain why. I think you guys have had maybe the same issue with City Hall. There's not people just lining up at the door to give us quotes on that. I think we might have someone else coming to look soon to give us a price. It kind of varies. Some places have wanted like blueprint or like maps of our building. We've modified our building so many times that I don't have anything close to resemble building currently. So there's that as well.
I would hope that you'd at least get two, if not three, vendor estimates. I mean, that's just typical good.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, for something of that price, we'd have to go out for bid on that anyway. So we're right now to the point just seeing what the magnitude, or if it was something, if it was going to be $5,000 or $6,000, I'd try to find room in our current budget and just make it work. But that's going to be beyond we can make work.
And when do you expect this to, I mean, you want this as soon as possible, I'm guessing.
Yes?
I mean, those are, I'm starting on the budget for next year as well. So, I mean, it's.
Yeah, we're not sure that can go. So, I mean, what we've done is, when possible, given you kind of an estimate of what the minimum is. There's not bid yet because through that process, we have a process.
Chief, there's not state bids on electronic equipment like that, is there?
Some things there are, some hit or miss. Some places use ASPRO contracts, and it's like a percentage off the MSRP. This involves a lot of labor as well, so I think it's going to be a little bit harder. You have to basically have vendors come in and give you a substantial amount of labor on top of the equipment.
Chief, I wasn't going to ask, but since you're up here, what's the word on I saw something about the fire alarm. Does it not work? Or
We have a sensor that keeps tripping, and we've had people come to look at it, and basically it's another thing where we don't know if it's simple as just a sensor that's wrong, or if there's the whole system's bad. It is the original part of the system is the original part of it's an add-on. So some of it would date back to 1977 building. So right now it goes off randomly to keep you on your toes. We do it on there and silence it. So it's loud when it goes off. So you hear it.
doesn't rain on you, does it?
No. We don't have sprinklers.
Any other questions for the chief? Okay. Move on. Melissa Coggle, Deputy City Clerk, update of council chamber audio and video equipment. I saw your memo there. That scares me.
Mayor Pro Tem, I just wanted to give an update. I have received a lot of communication from the citizens and as well as from council. And I just wanted to update you that back in November, you guys had asked me to look into upgrading our audio, video, or replacing. I have been working on that. Much like Chief, it is a bit hard to get people to come and give proposals and bids and things right now, but I was able to get a couple different companies that the city currently has used, one at the Board of Public Works where Matt was able to help me, and the other at the police department where Eric was able to help me. Those bids have come in with complete replacement being about $60,000, and with an upgrade, and one of the companies, TSI, was here yesterday, and with keeping our speakers, which they think is in pretty good shape, our projectors, which is in pretty, not the projectors, excuse me, the screens, which is in pretty good shape. But everything else pretty much needs replaced, and both bids have come in right around 30, or excuse me, not bids, proposals, has come in right around $30,000. And that is by kind of pretty much both companies replacing. The microphones need replaced. All of the sound system needs replaced. And of course, anything, if we're going to keep streaming the meetings, then we definitely need a new camera system, and that would include that. I did want to let everyone know that I have kind of done everything I can to this point. I come in and I move everybody's microphones facing their mouths, and these are the type of microphones, by the way, you have to speak directly into. They do not pick up around the sound, so if I move away, it's not going to pick me up. If I move up, it's going to. I've moved the microphone to the center where hopefully our speakers are speaking into it, and I turn everybody's microphones all the way up. That is kind of all at this point I can do, and I am doing that, so hopefully it's helping. One of the IT guys from another department had reached out to me and said, oh, you guys got it fixed, because one meeting sounded really good, and then the next meeting sounded terrible. So it all kind of depends on how we're doing here. But I did just kind of want to update you that we are looking into it. I expect the TSI proposal to come back within probably the next week or so, and then I can come back and tell you the options. Whether we wait and look at this at budget time, or whether the council, at your pleasure, choose to go ahead and do something about it. I should have maybe done, not the next council meeting, but the prior one, be able to bring you exactly what we're looking at.
Do we have any kind of an idea of how many people use that service?
I think I can check. I think the last meeting that I looked at, it had, I want to say like 17 views. Don't quote me on that, but it was around that area. But I mean, I can definitely go on and check and see how many meeting, how many views each meeting.
That'd be interesting.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
if I may, I think it's a good idea for us to do. It's a good service to provide to the community. That being said, the city manager just gave us a list of things that I think probably security cameras at the police department, things of that nature. My opinion, just one councilman's opinion, is should be higher than that. I think we talk about it, let Melissa get quotes when we do our budget workshop coming up, look at making it work for that. And I apologize in advance to the citizens that we may have to deal with it for just a little bit longer, but I think that we'd be best served to tackle a couple items on Lisa's list first.
Totally agree. Thank you. Anybody else?
You doing a budget workshop? No.
Comes up,
Yeah.
our 5-year capital plan comes up, I believe, April.
Yeah, I think it's in April.
Haven't heard about that.
Well, I don't think we have it scheduled. We don't have it scheduled yet, do we?
No. Okay. Moving forward, Mr. Andy Dorian, Director of Central Services. Looks like you've got several items tonight.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. First up, we have the engineering architectural service agreement for the floodgate seals. This is the replacement of all the seals on the floodgate. Not a lot of great information on this. I think they're the originals. They are significantly overdue for being replaced. So this will put the design of that, the bid specs, all that together. So,
And Andy, there was talk of moving the physical gates themselves to a different location to make it easier to install. Would that be part of this project?
that would not.
Okay.
We held on that because of all the millions of other things that are going
Okay.
on. So
Understand.
it'll be another expensive project to do. It's something that we'd like to do in the future. It would absolutely help for convenience and probably save some money down the road. But these two, they don't have to be together, so we're going to
Okay.
tackle this one.
Okay, thank you.
Also on this one, the city still has about $80,000 in its flood wall line
Okay.
item in the old one. So that's what we're going to utilize for this money. That's a resolution to follow. Next up is the Huckleberry Park pickleball tennis court. This is just the engineering service agreement. This is out for bid right now. Because this project had a lot of different layers, we didn't put the administrative part on there yet. We didn't know. Basically, the administrative part is a percentage of the entire project. We didn't want to do on the front end, not knowing what that final was going to be. So this is $9,000 for all the administration portion of this project. For those who don't remember, this is to completely redo the pickleball tennis courts, and there's some add-ons, a potential new court, and some additional parking.
Resolution.
Yep.
Andy,
Yes,
real
sir.
quick. How many, I just don't know, how many pickleball courts are there?
So right now we have our 2 tennis courts. So there's 4 courts. The pickleball side, the south side, is temporary pickleball. This is going to be permanent. Pickleball is our #1 thing in Hannibal now. Across the country, it's growing. So we're going to have one of the nicer regions. So this allows us to have all our leagues and tournaments there. So we'll have 6 really nice permanent courts. That way, people who go play don't have to drag nets out. This has been an initiative of the
Awesome. And then one last question that's totally not relevant, but I just feel compelled to ask. What's it concrete?
It's asphalt.
Okay.
So years ago, we went to a matting system, which was all the rave. It was actually a good surface. A straight line wind that came through a couple years ago actually went underneath the matting, destroyed it. So we had a warranty on it. James and I looked at it. Business went out of business. Sold. So the new business did not honor the warranty, as often happens. James corrected me. So we were kind of at a loss on that. But we are going back to completely, we're going to mill out the court, re-asphalt it, reseal it. So, and that's kind of the material. We have a group of pickleball players who we have part of a group that's consulted us on this. We've let them pick the color. So
Gonna use a mat again?
we are not. It's going to go back to all asphalt. So
Thank you.
next up, we have just a small change order for Lakeside Industrial Park Road. This road is complete. This project is wrapped up. This is the final change order. It was an amount of $16,679. We talked to MoDOT this week. MoDOT will cover 84% of this. The city's portion being city/board 16. So close that project out.
Resolution to follow there.
Yep. Next up, this is just housekeeping. Every year, the city is required to do a contract of obligation, DNR, for the landfill. So this contract authorizes the director to the Department of Revenue total $219,769 from any funds that the state will disperse to the city if the city fails to properly provide post-closure care to them, i.e. stop maintaining it. So it's something that's been going on 30 years. It's just some housekeeping at the
Got another few years, it looks like, before we complete that cycle.
yeah. So, yep. So this is something the finance department requires, and so I'm going to go ahead and present it.
Resolution to follow there.
Yep. And last up, we just we want to surplus a 2002 Ford F-250 truck. It has 133,000 miles on it. It has untold amounts of problems. It's basically just sitting there. So we will put it out for sealed bid, sell it as is.
Need a motion to approve the 2002 Ford 250 as a surplus.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I got. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Mike Murphy, building inspector, request to set a public hearing to vacate a portion of Pershing Street.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, just like Mike just said, request a public hearing for Tuesday, March 7th, for vacate portion of Pershing Street. It's already went through planning and zoning. They had no issue. Public hearing with planning and zoning. I believe the only issue that was brought up was the plat with as far as utility easements. I believe that in the description, James' description, they left that easement in. So I'm not sure. I'm sure there's probably some utilities there, but
Okay. Any questions for Mike? Need a
Public hearing.
Thank you. I hear second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Chief Naki, Hannibal Police Department, Law Enforcement Block Grant.
Good evening again. Tonight I'm coming before the council. We recently learned through the Missouri Department of Public Safety that we are awarded I won't say the whole, I'll just give you short, the Law Enforcement Block Grant. It's a long, drawn out name. It's actually administered through the Department of Justice, so they issue up to $10,000 for law enforcement agencies. We were awarded our request of $9,705.50. The purpose of that is to purchase new ballistic vests for our special response team. We have vests that are they're beyond their rated expiration. They have actual dates associated with that ballistic protection that they're certified for. We need to place that and get stuff that's in compliance. And with that, this will enable us to purchase 4 vests. Just need authorization to approve sub-award agreements and mayor to sign on behalf of the city.
Questions for Chief? Motion to approve. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Chief. Stephen Franke, Charles Phillips, monthly city manager.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, may I enter?
I'll make that presentation.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, may I, since for a minute. Due to ongoing investigations, pending hearings, current and potential litigation, I'd like to make a motion to table this item until a later date.
Your second?
Second.
All those in favor of tabling this request?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Welch,
Nay.
Councilman Beach,
Aye.
Councilman McCoy,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
No.
Councilmember Franke,
Sorry, I'm confused.
I think maybe you ought to start again. Is the vote is, will it be tabled or not, correct?
Correct.
Maybe, I think maybe there was, maybe
Okay, the motion was to table.
the motion is to table, so the vote is,
Must
do
be
you
in
want
the
to
air
table
tonight.
or not table? Maybe I'd suggest you go ahead and call it.
okay, Councilman Welch,
Yes.
Councilman Beach,
Aye.
Councilman McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilman Franke,
No.
and Councilman Phillips.
No.
Move to the bills, bill number 23-003. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second final reading.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 23-003, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal amending the fiscal year 2022-2023 payroll ordinance number 4 relative to the increase of the salaries of the police chief, the fire chief, and the director of central services due to the addition of duties as a result of assuming emergency management responsibilities. Second and final reading. Councilmember Welch,
Yes.
Councilmember Beach,
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Yes.
Councilmember Franke,
Yes.
and Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
I declare bill number 23-003 duly approved and adopted on this day. Move to bill number 24-004. Need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading. Here a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Bill number 23-004.
I think we have one opposition. Am I correct? So I need a roll call.
I'm so sorry. All right. To read the bill, Councilman Welch,
Yes.
Councilman Beach,
Yes.
Councilman McCoy,
Nope.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmember Franke,
Yes.
and Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
6-1. Bill number 23-004, an ordinance revising Chapter 2, Administration, Article 4, Officers and Employees by creating a new Division 3 complaint process of the revised ordinance of the City of Hannibal to clarify the process for complaints regarding officers of the city. First reading.
Moving on to resolution number 2437-23. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Resolution number 2437-23, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a $9,000 bidding, construction, administration, and observational engineering service agreement between the City of Hannibal and Klinger and Associates for the renovations of the Huckleberry tennis and pickleball courts. Councilmember Welch,
Yes.
Councilmember Beach,
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmember Franke,
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
I declare resolution number 2437-23 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now move to resolution number 2438-23. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Resolution number 2438-23, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a $21,000 engineering service agreement between the City of Hannibal and Klinger and Associates for the replacement of the sills on the downtown floodgates. Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Beach?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Funky?
Yes.
And Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
I declare resolution number 2438-23 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now move to resolution number 2439-23. Need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Resolution 2439-23, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a $16,679 change order number 1 for the construction of a section of Lakeside Drive Road going into the industrial park. Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Beach?
Abstain.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Funky?
Yes.
And Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
I declare resolution number 2439-23 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now move to resolution number 2440-23. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Resolution number 2440-23, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a contract of obligation between the city and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources for the requirements of the post-closure of a solid waste disposal area in the amount of $219,769. Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Beach?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Funky?
Yes.
And Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
I declare resolution number 2440-23 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now move to closed session in accordance with RSMO 610-021 subsections 1, 3, 12, and 13. Admitting myself, city manager, city attorney, city clerk, Andy Dorian. Look for a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Beach?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Funky?
Yes.
And Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
Okay. Closed session. Thank you all for being here tonight. Hi, sir.
I know. I'm struggling.
I believe the contract's been, the contract was approved, I don't know that it's been executed. And it's probably a question for him.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
How are you? I saw you rubbing your arm. No, still bothering you?
Hi, how are you?
It's gonna be a long haul. I'm only 5 months in. What's up? We've got several months to go.
ask if you could tell me the
Here.
status of right there. For the clerk.
You may regret being left.
Thank you.
don't know if I call her